Do you know how we get fulfillment? You can be happy because you did things at work. You can be proud because you did things at work. You can be excited because you had a big success at work. But you know how you feel fulfilled at work? When you do something for someone else. It's the only way we get that feeling. It's the only way we get that feeling. Do you know why the statistics say that over 90% of people don't feel fulfilled by the work they do? It's not because of the job, it's not because of the pay, it's not because of the benefits. It's because we don't help each other anymore. We sit in our cubes and we work. And anything that we turn to anybody is because we need something, we need to get something. And yet we don't put ourselves out there simply for no other reason than to help somebody else. Do you know what generosity is? Generosity is doing something for someone else expecting nothing in return. At no point ever. I did something for him, why won't he help me? It's not an equation. It's designed to help you feel good. And Mother Nature has given us this feeling when we do something for someone else to encourage us to do it. Because when we are in groups, when we are surrounded by people who believe what we believe, trust emerges and our very survival and progress goes up.
It's 4 p.m. in Dallas, it's 5 p.m. on the East Coast, and it's 2 p.m. in Los Angeles. Welcome to Office Hours, a nationwide live coaching session from JohnGSelf.com and Guiding Your Career Academy. Hello everybody, I'm John Self, and welcome to the season finale of Office Hours. It's a live stream. We're taking off the month of August, but we'll be back on September the 4th. So we're going to take some needed R&R, and during that time, we hope to do some planning for our fall and spring schedules. We're also going to be reevaluating how we deliver services, pricing, and those types of things. We will continue our summer coaching sessions, so if you are an existing client and have coaching sessions scheduled or on a weekly basis, we'll be here for you. And if you just find yourself in the job market and you need outplacement or transition coaching, we will be here for you. And if you need just to schedule a 30-minute courtesy call to talk about what's going on and what steps you need to take, we will be here for you. So let's get busy and move forward. We'll also, let me add this, something that I enjoy very much, being an old newspaper guy. We will continue our daily newsletter, and it drops every morning at 6:30 a.m., Monday through Friday, Central Time, on Substack. So Guiding Your Career, John G. Self Substack. Today, our agenda is about networking. You know, a lot of people network and they do it for social purposes, but when you ask them to start focusing in on networking to advance their career and to meet people that they don't normally know, oh my gosh, then it's not so cool. Well, we're going to talk about the purpose of networking, the types of networking, but most importantly today, we're going to be talking about the messaging strategies. A lot of people don't know what to say or when to say it or how to say it. And we want to do this and be sure you do this in a way that's consistent with your comm plan. Oh, you don't have a communications plan? That must mean you don't have a written career plan. Let me share something with you. People who have written plans are more successful in the end than those who don't. They make more money than those who don't. So, you think you might need a career plan? I thought so. We can help you do that as well. It's not that expensive, folks. Okay, let's talk about the purpose of networking. You know, the methods have changed over time, but the basic point is still the same. It's to build relationships, mutually beneficial. It's to add values to those with whom you connect, and it's to indirectly support your career branding, not chest beating, ha ha ha, we're here to help you. It is about treating people right. It is about helping people. It is about, it's about listening to them, being empathetic, cheering them on, offering them tips. It's just being there. So, people say, what's the ideal size of a career network? Well, let's let you guess. Is it 16,000? That's my size, okay? And why do I have so many connections? Well, first of all, I've been on LinkedIn since 2004. It started in May 2003. I wasn't there when Reid Hoffman flipped the switch, but I was on the front door. So I've been in LinkedIn for more than 20 years, and when I got started, had not one frickin' clue about what was to happen. Our philosophy was if it moved, shot it. And there were a lot of people on there that didn't know what was going on or how to use it. And certainly we've gotten more sophisticated over time. But 16,000, that's my number. But I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking to build a business. I'm looking to sell books. I'm looking to sell articles. I'm looking to build my membership subscription program. I'm looking to help people with customized coaching packages and career management packages. So 16,000, that's a lot of names to maintain. Well, how about 5,250 people? Does that sound better? Well, it's certainly smaller. Or how about 1,010? Or maybe even 500? Well, if you follow our coaching sessions, you'll know the number. But if you don't know the number, I think you might be surprised. It's a range between 125 to 145. And people go, whoa, wait a minute, that's too small. I may need more help than that. Well, the truth is, research shows that the average human being can only manage effectively about 125 to 145 connections. That is to say, you connect with somebody, you get to know them, you build a relationship so that there's trust, so that you are willing to help each other, so that you will depend on each other. If you have 16,000, I can't possibly know that many people. People call me all the time, John, I noticed that you're connected with so-and-so. Can you make an introduction? Well, not really, because I only know about 150 of my connections really well. The rest of the people I've connected because they requested it over time, and we've had interactions, and I market to them, and I send DMs to them, but I can't know 16,000. This is the right number for you. And guess what? If you have 125 to 145 people, and you're building a deep relationship with those people, guess what? When somebody calls and says, John, do you know so-and-so? He shows as one of your connections. Yes, I do. And I'm happy to help you. I'll send a message and make a connection with you. Now, here's what happens. If somebody calls and asks for my help, I may not know them that well, but I'm going to ask them some questions and find out if that's somebody I really want to reach out to and help with their career. You get a lot of people who are just farming for names to sell things to, and LinkedIn is loaded with those bozos. So I'll do a little interview and try to find out what their purpose is, and then I may make a connection. When I have a smaller number, it's more meaningful. When you have a bigger number, less so. So when you're looking for a job, it's 125 to 145, and that number is going to shift a little bit, and you're going to be constantly feeding and weeding the garden. That is to say, as your plans evolve, as your plans change, you're going to be changing people in that network. You may have a whole separate network on the side to maintain, but this is your job search network. This is your core group of people that you really want to focus on. And so that the people in that group will change over time as you grow in your career and as people retire. So that's the optimum number, excuse me. So now let's talk about the types of recruiting. Well, there are really 4 types of recruiting, and I think that a lot of people don't really pay that much attention to it. But the one thing I do want you to grab hold of is this notion that this is one of the most important career management tools that you have. Now, let me add something else. As we go forward in automation and the evolution of the job market, which is changing at a breathtaking speed, as we have more automation, more AI, as more computers run recruiting, these names will be so important. Why? Because there's 60 to 70% of all the jobs are not posted. The automation, when you're looking online and going to job boards and responding to things that the organizations post, some of those are not even real jobs. So you want to be referred because that's how some of the best jobs are filled. So let's talk about the networking types. First of all, let me tell you, you got to be prepared to adapt because it will change. There's traditional networking, that's in-service events. Then there's LinkedIn online networking, which is digital, which is something that LinkedIn has never really fulfilled its promise of being a good networking site. Then you have virtual or video networking, and you're going to see a lot more of that as and it can be used to be very helpful to build strength, build deep, build meaningful, build consequential relationships. And then there's the hybrid format, and we're all going to be practicing that. That's all of the above. You will never pull away from face-to-face networking because educational symposiums are really helpful. You get to meet people there that you in person that you might just know online. It's a really important aspect. So you want to do all of these things. When you do have face-to-face networking opportunities, you want to go with a target list. You want to go with a plan in mind. And above all, you want to be sure that they know that this is not about you. This is about helping others. Now, technology and automation, these 2 issues are going to propel a change, a lot of change, breathtaking change. So you need to be prepared. And I'm going to keep reiterating this point. Not engaging, not adapting to the inevitable change in networking is not an option. Not networking it's not an option anymore. It's just not. You can't afford not to have a career network. I just helped a couple of people through the spring and into the summer who had been in the job market for 4 or 5 months and were having no luck. It still took us 6 to 8 months to get them placed. Why? Because there are fewer management and executive jobs today than there were 10 years ago. Why is that? Well, there's job extension. Fewer people are doing more work. Number 2, when the pandemic came along, companies furloughed their executives and managers and a lot of their hourly staff. When they started bringing hourly and staff people back to work, they realized they didn't need as many of the executive managers and executives as they had in the past. And so good CEOs said, well, we'll just furlough those people, move the furloughs to layoffs. And that happened to thousands of people. So today, when you apply for a job, it's not uncommon. It is not uncommon to find out that you're one of 2 or 3 or 400 people applying for a job. And so that's why your network is so important, because they can move you through the side door if they know people. If your network, maybe somebody in a big organization that you really would like to work for that has an ideal job for you, you can really, if you've got a good relationship, that person will take you past those computers into the hiring manager. Now, you may still have to submit a customized resume to that through that system, and it has to be customized. It has to use the keywords. But they can also, your connection, your networking connection, can take your resume and put it on the desk of the hiring manager. And that makes a difference. It's 150 to 1 if you're relying on the computers. It's 32 to 1 if you're dealing with a recruiter. But if you have someone who is known in the organization, who's trusted in the organization, your odds improve about 16 to 1. Still highly competitive, but that's a better chance than you would have if you were just applying online. So now we want to talk about really messaging strategies, because this is really important. There's receptions, obviously. There's the working the telephone, and during your business day, you might run across a name that you want to meet. They may have a problem similar to one you're trying to solve. You may pick up the phone and say, I understand you guys have done this successfully. Could I schedule some time with you later in the week or next week to get you to run by how you solve this problem, because I'm really struggling with it. And that may be a good way to start a relationship, okay? On the other hand, you may want to do it virtually. A lot of times we decide, okay, I have a career goal. I want to run a retail company of $500 million in sales. I'd like to be in the upper Midwest. There are a bunch of connections and a bunch of companies in the upper Midwest that I'd like to work for around the Chicago area. This would be great. Or New York, is another big center for retail. You want to start identifying people in those geographic areas and in those companies, targeted companies that you want to connect with, because those are people that can be the most help. Remember, though, it's really important. You've got to have the right strategy, the right tool with the right message. Okay, that's pretty important. So before we move any further about messaging strategies, let's talk about rules of networking. First of all, it is not about you. Yes, I know you're trying to find a job, but you don't start networking when you need a job. If you start networking when you lose your job, you've waited too late. It's already too late. And you can do some fast track networking, but that's really, really hard. So start off by building relationships. It's a long game strategy. And remember, it's not about you. Networking is about helping others, and you start that out. People say, I'm a servant leader, but I need some help. Help me find a job. That's not being a servant leader. That's being an undisciplined, unprepared, kind of hot mess. So networking is about helping others. To be successful in that, you have to be a good listener. And then number 4, so number 1 is it's not about you. Number 2, networking is about helping others. 3, it's about being a good listener. 4, it's about being thoughtful. Listen carefully to what's being said to you. Offer suggestions. Think about how you can play a role. So that's number 5. Look for opportunities to be helpful. And number 6, be proactive. Don't, if somebody says something to you, you can help them. Don't make them ask. Say, Jim, Barbara, I've dealt with this before, or I know somebody in that organization. Can I do something to help you? And and I don't do this as much as I should, but I try to end phone calls with, is there anything else I can do for you today? It's all about serving others. I once had a candidate tell me, Jan McFadden, who was a great hospital CEO who's now in doing some other things in healthcare. But I asked Jan once in an interview at the Ambassador Hotel in Chicago. I was interviewing him for a big position in Fort Worth. And I asked him what is one of the greatest things about his job, and he stopped, and he just paused for a moment, and then he said with great emotion in his voice, there is no job more important or more rewarding than serving other people. And that's what networking has to be about. You can be a crummy networker, which probably calls into question your reputation for being a servant leader. Okay, so let's now move on and talk about the categories in messaging. You always want to personalize. That's just an ironclad rule. It's just like you have to customize your resume. Well, you always want to personalize. Okay, so first, you always, if you're using LinkedIn, which is a great way to start a connection, if you want to work in a health system in the Northwest, and there's several great health systems up there, and you and your family, as part of your planning, decide you want to live in the Mountain West, so Boise or Denver or Salt Lake City or one of those cities, those are great places to live if you like the outdoors and you like skiing. Great places to be, okay? But in order to get there, a lot of other people want to be there. So you have to build relationships, networks that are targeted to those areas and those organizations. Because when you're looking for a job, the chances of that finding those listed there are probably not that great. So you want to build, you're going to use LinkedIn a lot to start the ball rolling, to open the door. Now, LinkedIn is very difficult to build a deep personal relationship using DMs and emails and that sort of thing. Really doesn't work that well. And people are so overwhelmed with the nonsense of all these people connect with you or want to connect with you just to sell you crap that doesn't work, that you don't need, okay? So when you make a request for an invitation, say this, we'll talk about that in just a minute, but what you want to do is have a personal note, and when you're going to send a link or send a request, it asks you if you want to send a message. Yes, you always send a message. Explain why you want to connect. And I'll give you an example of that in just a minute. The second thing is personal events. You always want to be involved and highlight personal events. One of your connections' birthdays, their work anniversaries. If you're following them on Facebook, you may learn that they just had a new baby, or they just celebrated their 5th wedding anniversary, or their 2nd wedding anniversary, whatever. These are places where you can then pick that up on Facebook, but then backtrack to LinkedIn, which is more professional. Keep it in. You want to keep it moving through that funnel, the professional networking funnel. That's LinkedIn. It's well established. And say, Roger, I noticed on your Facebook page that you and your wife, Barbara, just had your first child. Marge and I, my wife's name, we're really delighted for the news, and we wish you both much success. We hope the baby's well and healthy and that all goes well. Something like that. That's just on the fly, but you get the point. You want to then reach out and make it personal. Those personal touches of a child's birthday or an anniversary or a work anniversary, those personal touches on a consistent basis, not once every 5 years, for God's sake, but on a consistent basis. That's how you take a connection and move them slowly toward a relationship. Connections don't help you find a job. If you get but when you need help, relationships will help you, okay? So that's, you use those anniversaries. When somebody's accomplished something, send them a note. Beth, I saw that you were just promoted, or that you just, your organization just, won an award for nursing excellence, or your organization was just awarded a Quint Studer, customer service honor. Whatever it is, it doesn't make any difference. But accomplishments, you want to reach out to them, personalize the note, call their name, their success. You want to also share your successes. Now, that may not be on a DM, but your successes on solving a problem, you may want to put that on a DM in a video email, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Video emails are absolutely powerful, powerful, powerful. Hear that? I thought so. Be sure that you use video emails periodically, because video emails will really help you build a relationship, accelerates. And it's a way to say, listen, we just solved this problem we've been working on for years. We came up with a custom solution, my team and I did, and it not only solved the problem, it improved satisfaction and enhanced profitability. If you'd like some information, I'm happy to share it with you, okay? That's talking about your success. And of course, every holiday, and this is where, again, where you can do a little movie, and I've got several that I've used in Christmas cards in the past that I've posted, but you can also, using SendSpark, SendSpark, that's a system that converts your videos into an easily transferable GIF, video GIF to your contacts. So you may see animation on the front with Merry Christmas coming in if you're using iMovie to edit this. This is not hard stuff. It sounds complicated, but it's really not hard. You can figure it out. If you're running a business, you should be able to figure it out. I did, and I'm terrible at the technology of stuff. But these holidays, these are chances to make a special connection. I want to, March and I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. When it's done with some music in the background, when it's done with some nice graphics that are not hard to do, you can really make an impact. So some people say, look, I'm busy with my job. I don't have time for this. Let me tell you something. When you don't have a job, And now you may have to, you're going to rely on online networking or online applications. Right now, people are making as many as 70 to 100, 140 applications just to get one offer. That's how tight it is in the management executive ranks, and it's only going to get worse. So it's an imperative, it's an urgent imperative that you start building your connections and build those connections into relationships to help you with your career, but more importantly, to help them with their career. Because the average, people don't stay in jobs forever. And you always want to make it. If there's anything I can ever do for you, let me know. That's the kind of relationship you want to build. So holidays are great ways to really touch and advance the relationship on both sides. So let's focus on connecting. It's the you perspective, okay? Find the balance between connection and then maybe going over the top too soon. Okay, there's a difference between building ties and stalking, so be mindful of their space. Don't hit them all with a bunch of movies and 10 connection messages or 10 follow-ups in 5 days because you're in a hurry to find a job. That's stupid. Don't do that. You're showing people you don't have a clue what you're doing, and it damages your brand. Moreover, people are busy, so they may not see your request for 3 or 4 days or maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks. People don't live in front of their LinkedIn mail. I mean, gosh, I get all these people wanting to connect with me, and when I don't respond right away, a lot of them are bots, a lot of them are fraudsters, and so I don't respond right away, and they get very angry. Why aren't you talking to me? That's rude not to respond. And I always write back and say, I don't know about you, but I have a full-time job. And I spend very little time in socialization. If you're looking for social chit-chat, I'm not the guy. You want to talk about your career? No, I want to talk about, your experiences. Then schedule an appointment, and then they go away. Okay, so those are not people you want to waste your time with. If you're getting a lot of those things now where they say that LinkedIn, and I'm a LinkedIn member, but they don't have a name except in the mail, or they don't have a picture, that's fraud. Don't just click it off. Just say, I'm sorry. If you send me your LinkedIn URL, I'll connect with you if there's something compatible for us. But people are now thinking that it's just you make a request for a connection, it's automatic, you should be required to do that. No, don't do that. If you get a request for a connection and it's not in alignment with your career plan, don't necessarily do it unless there is some compelling reason where you see some advantage later. But be very, very careful. Keep in mind the Dunbar rule, 135, 125, 135 to 145 names is all you can manage effectively. If you're not careful, you'll have 1,000 before you know it. Don't let other people decide who you're going to connect with. You control that with your plan. But never chast when you're sending out a message. Remember, everybody's busy, you included, so don't chast them for not following up, because that just says, I'm a foreign bot, I'm a scam artist, I'm a grifter, I don't know what I'm doing here. Let people know you know what you're doing by understanding the rules of the road. Now, if you haven't heard from them in a month, make one, maybe make another attempt, your second attempt, maybe a third attempt if they're really a prize connection. But then stop. Don't cut them off. Don't chastise them. Don't be rude. Leave the door open, because they may see something you do later and come back and want to connect with you. So leave the door open. No chastisement. No arrogance. No thumb in the eye. Okay, that's not the way this works. Okay, the other thing you want to do is always in your connections, always use their first name. Hi, Jack. Hello, Susan or Cynthia. Cheers, Use their first name. And that's really important. One of the things I learned in the news business is always be sure you get the names right and spell them right, because that's disrespectful to those people. And I made my share of mistakes, but I pay close attention to that going along now. And it's really important to build credibility in your networking efforts. So if you send somebody a birthday deal, be sure that when you record it somebody's birthday, be sure that you're really accurate about it. Now, if they've listed their birthday in LinkedIn, then it'll automatically push that out as a notice to you that so-and-so is having a birthday, okay? Okay, but one of the things I want you to do, and this is really important, never, ever, ever, please, ever, Use LinkedIn's lame suggested text messaging, okay? Like, I always know that they're using LinkedIn messaging when it says, hello, John G. My middle initial is G. That's crap. That's disrespectful. Don't do that. This is important for 125 to 145, 150 names. You ought to make it personal. Be serious. Okay, so now let's talk about a sample invitation message to connect. Hello, Rob. As an executive who believes in looking ahead and who believes in the benefit of learning and sharing and collaboration, I want to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Here's my URL. If you see the merit in us sharing ideas, I would welcome the connection. Now, what you're basically saying is, hey, I'm not selling anything. Number two is, here's who I am. Does this meet your needs? Okay? Because it may meet your needs, but if it's not mutually beneficial, then it's a waste. Be careful to change out the names. If you create one of these messages and put it on your desktop in a file so you can get to it real easy for, say you may be doing 5 or 10 invitations on a Saturday afternoon trying to get caught up, be sure that you change the names and you don't send Rob's name to Harry or Barbara's name to Sue. Be respectful. Yeah, you can't build a relationship if you start out making mistakes. I have done that. The reason I'm so adamant about it, early on, I made every stupid, silly, mistake known to man. Okay? This is another, and I hope you're using screenshots of these, but if you need them, I'll be happy to send you the deck, the stack to you. Here's a message somebody got promoted. Suzanne, today I read with great pleasure about your promotion and your new position. First, congratulations, and may I add my best wishes for a long and successful tenure with Dunbar and Callaway. Okay? Here's another message for sharing success. Maxwell, today we celebrated an important milestone for our new ancillary productivity and customer service tool. This new program that we created internally has not only boosted our productivity and lowered our costs considerably, but also significantly enhanced customer service satisfaction, a testament to our dedication to service excellence. If you would like more information on our approach, let me know. As one of my valued contacts, and there I made a typo, so there I'm guilty of making a mistake. I want to share it with you first. Then maybe a week or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks later, you'll do a like a 250, 300 word, very abbreviated mini case study and post it on your profile. Why? Because if you're looking for a job, there are scanners out there looking for people that meet a certain set of qualifications, and that you're posting on your LinkedIn profile. The material you have on your LinkedIn profile may get you a dream job opportunity, or at least an invitation to compete. Now, your LinkedIn messaging dashboard, and this is really, really important, okay? First of all, that first category is my network. That is basically people asking to, who want to join your dude. And I've just cleaned that out 2 days ago, and it's already back up to 18, it looks like there. This is a screenshot from this morning. That's how many people are trying to get on my network to sell me something. Very few people are asking for, necessarily ask for help. Those people come directly, not through the connection process. So that's my network, and you always want to keep an eye on that. Secondly, this messaging, and when you get those are DMs, direct messages, and those are very, very useful tools to facilitate. You can't build a relationship using DMs or emails, but this is where they come in and showing. And then this is the area where you're going to learn about people's birthdays, their anniversaries, their promotions. This is a summary day by day in LinkedIn. If they're connected with you in any way, first, second, or third level, you'll get a notification there. So that's where your dashboard is, and it can be very, very helpful to track this. You need to keep an eye on it, if not every day, every other day. You don't want to miss birthdays. It doesn't take very long. We have a little birthday video that we can insert into a SendSpark DM and send it to them. So it's really pretty great. We don't put it on their timeline because it's again, we're trying to focus on connection, personal, me and you. I'm not gonna blast this out. And if you start using videos, be careful. This is not something that's widely used today. I'm not sure why, because the research is stunning when you communicate with someone in a video versus a text message, 92% comprehension. They retain that information. You also have about a 65 to 70% chance of opening versus pretty miserable scores with regular email, regular text email. So look, if you want to learn more about it, SendSmart is a great company. That's who we use. It's a lower cost. They have great customer service. Considering it's all online, and they're a great bunch of people. So now let's move to the takeaways for our presentation today. First, networking is essential to your career success. I can't say that enough. It is so important for your career success. Secondly, your messages should reflect your values. Be helpful, be supportive, be sincere, be approachable. Don't act like you're so important. I used to do that. I had a head bigger than Dallas when I first got started. I knew more about LinkedIn than a lot of people, in 2004, 2005, 2006. And some people were very critical because I was on LinkedIn and did a lot of posting. But I got a lot of business in the search industry by connecting with people who then later, because I was on LinkedIn and gave them some help in figuring it out, called me and used me for searches. The other thing you want to do is no stalking and no chastising. If people don't respond back to you right away, give them some time. Everybody's busy. And just say, I didn't hear from you, I understand, but if I can ever do anything for you in the future, let me know. That's a good way to put it, suspend it, kind of wrap it up, suspend it. Don't close the door, but don't bother them. They'll come back to you if they see a need. The other thing I want you to do is be consistent. Check your connections dashboard daily, and always use names. Be careful. Check your work. I use Grammarly. Grammarly works in LinkedIn, so that's a good thing. I have a paid version of Grammarly. There is a free version. The paid version is, I think, a little bit better because it gives you some AI writing examples. But you want to. These are important takeaways, and so I want you to constantly, look at what you're doing. And as your career plan goes forward, it's going to evolve. I have people tell me, John, I don't have a career plan because it's just going to change and I don't want to waste my time. If you have a career plan, you're going to make more money and achieve your goals more likely than people who don't. So why would you turn that down? Why would you not have a career plan? But your plan will change just like business plans change. So it's important. It's important for you to evolve your network and your networking strategy as your career progresses. So I hope this information has been helpful for you. Now, tomorrow morning, we have our final Career Live for the season. It debuts at 7:30. It presents at 7:30 a.m. Thursday Central Time. It's on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And that's at 7:30 in the morning. We're going to summarize Lunch and Learn yesterday, LinkedIn, our office hours today. So if you weren't around or didn't catch it all, we'll just do some brief summaries in the morning. And, I want to tell you how much I enjoy doing these programs. They're really designed to help our clients with live coaching, but we want you to know we thank you for dropping by. If you're not one of our clients, we hope you will be. We're building a subscription service and a community, and we hope that you'll want to join and become part of that and make a contribution. Or if you need customized coaching, we have a philosophy. If you hire me to coach you to find your next better job, it may take a long time. In most outplacement firms or coaching firms have set contracts. And when you get to the end of that contract, they're not going to spend as much time with you. They're moving on to make more money. Well, I found that if you treat people right, you'll end up making more money in the long run. So that's our goal is, in our new premium deal, which is, that's 1 to 2 weekly coaching sessions. You get access to me on the telephone whenever you need me. Some coaching firms say you can only call me between these hours, and I won't take any calls after this time. Look, when you're looking for a job, you're going to have some bad days. And you're going to have some days that you're desperate. And you're going to have some days that you just need to vent. I've had people call and just cry because they're so discouraged. They've never had this much trouble before. It's likely that it's going to be very difficult, regardless of who's elected president, to sustain this economy in the next year. And so we will probably be looking at more layoffs, If we do a lot of, if we do big tax cuts and impose tariffs on our trading partners, that could be very inflationary because the trading partners don't pay the tariffs. We do, contrary to what some politicians believe. But we want you to know that we'll be here for you, and if you can hire us, we will stay with you until your success, until you achieve that job search. And then you can join us in our community for $49 a month, get access to all of our stuff, because job search is going to be changing at a pretty high rate of speed. AI is going to absolutely turn everything you know about job search and shred it. It's already, a lot of people are struggling. They'll waste 2 or 3 months because they don't understand everything that they had done in the past doesn't work anymore, because they don't understand how the computers work. They don't understand automated sourcing, the whole bailiwick. They're struggling. And so we're here to help. I want to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in September with our new lineup, new times, and new content.